But let's go through some of the other stuff that I think is important to understand before we really get into some of the details about who the nominees are and who the senators are and all of this stuff. So one of the big things that you may have been hearing about in the news recently is this concept called the McConnell rule. The McConnell rule, Mitch McConnell is in the United States Senate. He's the Senate Majority Leader, and he is the one who is responsible for sort of whipping up all of the Republican senators into doing what the Republican Party wants to do. He is the leader of the Senate. There's this rule called the McConnell rule, and many people are saying this is actually the Joe Biden rule because Joe Biden was the person who introduced this back in 1992 when he was in the Senate and when he was discussing these types of issues back during that time. And so it's kind of called the Biden-McConnell rule, and nobody really wants this label because it doesn't feel good. So when you say it's Joe Biden's label, everybody says, it's not Joe Biden's label. He never said that, or it was different. If you say it's Mitch McConnell's, he says, no, it's not like that. So this is, in my opinion, this is the excuse for doing what you need to do to win. They call it this rule, but really this is, we just want to win. This is the we're going to win rule because we have the votes rule. And it works like this. So remember, we talked about it at the outset of the show. We have the executive branch, we have the legislative branch, and we have the judicial branch. And so this is what the McConnell rule looks like. If you have the presidency, so in this case, the Republicans have the presidency. They are here in red. It's President Trump. They have the executive branch. The executive branch nominates somebody to the Supreme Court, and according to our Constitution, that nominee needs to be approved by the Senate, okay, not the entire Congress. So we have our three branches, the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, and the president nominates somebody to the court, and that person is approved by the Senate. It's with advice and consent of the Senate. This goes back to the original founding documents when we were having our discussion. The founding fathers were talking about representation, and the big states didn't want, or the small states didn't want the big states to overpower them. And so the big states wanted representation based on a percentage of population. That was the House of Representatives. And the small states wanted a Senate so that we all got equal representation. That's why we have two senators. And so when we're putting people on the Supreme Court, we want all the states to have an equal say, so they all get two senators, and then we have the Senate Judiciary Committee, and we're only talking about the Senate. They are the body that gets to decide whether somebody actually makes it to the Supreme Court. So in this case, if President Trump nominates somebody to the Supreme Court and the Republican-controlled Senate, you see all of these are in red because the Republicans have 5 judges on the Supreme Court, and if you have all 3 of those in red, really, you only need 2. If the president nominates somebody and the president's party controls the Senate, those 2 parties can nominate that person over to the Supreme Court. The difference is, remember back during the Obama years, we had the Merrick Garland situation. Okay, very, very similar here, except it was even further out. So Justice Scalia died sort of 11 months out from the election, and President Obama nominated Merrick Garland. But Obama's chart didn't look like this. It was different. Obama had the presidency, so this would have been in blue, but the Republicans had the Senate. So the president didn't have both in the same color. The president only had one in the same color, which was the presidency. And now they were very upset. The Democrats were very upset that the Republicans wouldn't put Merrick Garland up for a vote. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't notify him. They wouldn't even listen to him or nominate him at all. And they were very angry about that, and rightfully so. And Mitch McConnell said, yeah, but we know you got the presidency, but you don't have the Senate. Now the Republicans have the Senate. So if they have the votes, then they can push anybody they want through. And a lot of people are saying that that's unfair. To me, it's just politics. It's just playing the game. The president has the presidency. The president also has the votes in the Senate. Why would he not do that? And it's not just Republicans or President Trump or Mitch McConnell. If the Democrats were in this position, they would do the exact same thing, would be my guess. Hard to mind read and speak for other people, but I would be pretty sure that if they controlled the presidency and the Senate, they would have no problem nominating somebody to the Supreme Court. So that's the McConnell rule. You're going to hear a lot about that. People are going to be very we're seeing all sorts of statements twisting this up. All of the politicians who were, against, who wanted Merrick Garland, all the Democrats, Schumer, Obama, Biden, they all wanted to vote on Merrick Garland. Now they're all not going to want to vote on whoever Trump's nominee is, because it's just politics. And they're all trying to come up with these, really clever ways, like it's the McConnell rule and, the White House and the Senate, and they don't match and all this stuff. It's like, listen, just admit it. You won the election. You won the votes. You have the votes. They don't. So just pass it. We don't need to come up with all this clever stuff. We get it. We know what you're doing. Don't need to be cute about it.